Okay, I'm back. It's been about a month since I recorded a video, and I wanted to use this opportunity of this ride that I'm taking now to make another video. As I said, it's been about a month since I last posted a video to YouTube. And I'm in a town right now called Maurice River. And the reason I haven't recorded a video in a month is my motorcycle, my bike, needed servicing. And the closest place to Cape May that you can get a Kawasaki serviced is in Bridgeton, New Jersey. So it took me a couple of weeks to get the bike taken up there. And anyway, I've had the bike in for service, and as a result, I missed the opportunity to make a video of Cape May around Halloween, which I would like to have done. I also missed an opportunity to make a video showing sort of an autumnal view of Cape May. As you can see from the trees on this road, I'm on 347 bypass heading south, and as you can see, most of the leaves have, or a lot of the leaves have fallen off, and the ones that haven't are largely brown. So I missed the opportunity to get all of the foliage. At least I missed the opportunity to get it captured on tape. So you know, I'll have to wait till, I guess, next fall to do that. So as I said, I'm returning to Cape May from our home up in outside of Philadelphia, and we've been up there for about a week and a half. We are legal residents of Pennsylvania, so we voted last week at our home in Pennsylvania, in Montgomery County, and we're just now returning to Cape May. So this is a ride unlike the other videos that I have posted, where I'm showing scenes in and around Cape May. This is really well outside of Cape May. But this is one of the ways that I would typically come down to Cape May from Pennsylvania. If I don't go down the Garden State Parkway, I would come down this route. I would cross the Commodore Barry Bridge, go over 322, and pick up 55 south, and then take 55 south down to 47, and this is a bypass of 47. It's 347, so it avoids some of the traffic lights and stop signs and cross intersections if I stayed on 47. 47 is Delsea Drive. So and this is not only is it a faster route, but it's obviously more scenic. Today, however, is not a good day for capturing scenery. It's overcast, rain is coming. It's in the forecast at 2 o'clock, and it's supposed to rain from about 2 o'clock right through the evening. Right now it's about 12:20 in the afternoon on Wednesday, September 11th, Veterans Day. So I guess in the event that any veteran happens to be viewing this, extend my thanks and appreciation and greetings to all veterans on Veterans Day. I myself am not a veteran. I registered for the Vietnam War, but it was at the very tail end. And I registered for the draft for the Vietnam War, but it was really not much of a risk. I don't think anybody from my high school graduating class was drafted. The last drafts were the class before me, and even then it was not a whole lot of people. So I was fortunate enough to not have to go serve in Vietnam. So anyway, heading down to Cape May on November 11th. I'd like to try to capture a few more videos down there of the different seasons before I return, but as I said, the forecast calls for rain for the next few days, and then the temperature is supposed to really dip. It's supposed to be about 20 degrees colder than it is today, which is still nice riding weather. I mean, it's about 70 degrees now. So I'm just wearing a sweatshirt, and I am more than comfortable enough, and I'm doing about 55 miles an hour. I'm not sure how long this ride will take, and I'm not sure, like most of my videos, if this ride will be of interest to anybody. And tagging behind the school bus is not making it a very, very scenic ride. This road will reconnect with 47, which, as I said a moment ago, is Delsea Drive. And that road would take you, if you stayed on it, right into the heart of Wildwood. I take this road down to a town called Green Creek and turn off there, and it takes me in through the villas and into North Cape May. So the election where I live was not crowded. I heard a lot of stories of very long lines waiting to get in to vote, but when my wife and I went, we had no problem at all. We went in and out in 5 minutes, and there was nothing untoward taking place at the place that we voted. It was a very simple process, just like it always is. But of course, we're in a suburb of Philadelphia, Montgomery County, so it's really not had any instances of any civil unrest of any kind as yet. And I don't believe there's been any instances of civil unrest in Cape May either. Not in Cape May proper, nor in Lower Township or North Cape May. I had hoped to pick my bike up, get it in to be serviced much earlier, and I thought this would have been a nice ride to record when the when all the leaves were changing color. It would have been it's a brilliant scene with very brilliant colors of the leaves, very autumnal, but that wasn't to be. My Ninja is registered in Pennsylvania. My Harley is registered in New Jersey. And I had the bike up to be inspected in early summer. The Ninja was up to be inspected in early summer, and you know, I don't know if it was just an odd coincidence, but there was nothing wrong with the bike when I had it inspected. And a couple of weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago, I was taking the bike out to go for another ride, and everything was dead. Nothing turned on, and I had just replaced the battery when I had the bike serviced and inspected in late June. So I had to have the bike towed up to Bridgeton. So it took me a week or so before I got around to getting it towed, and then I've been up in Pennsylvania for the past week. So that explains my absence from posting any videos. One of the reasons that I like to come down to the shore on 47 is, in many respects, it's like a ride through time. You will see on this ride some new buildings, but some of the new buildings are built architecturally identical to the pre-existing structure, and they sit side by side. So riding down this road today in 2020 is really no different than it was riding down this road in 1980 or 1975. So it's like a ride back in time. And I don't know if I'll post this video because I have the face shield cracked a little bit. And I don't know if the wind coming through is going to drown out my voice. Not that I have anything really that profound to, you know, to share with anybody, but it might just be an annoyance that I might decide just not bother posting it. Well, we'll see when I get it downloaded and check it out. This lake is nice. One of the people that own a home here, at Christmas they put a Christmas tree up and anchor it in the middle of the lake, and it's always nice to see that when you drive past. These are obviously new homes here, but I'll point out some of the older structures as we pass by. Now, if I was going into a different shore point, like Sea Isle City as an example, I would take this exit off of 47 where this bus is going and take that over into Sea Isle, as you can see on that sign. You can see from that sign, Cape May is another 20 miles away. Very old church there. This, the road that I'm coming up on, turning to the left, is the road that I would take if I were going into Stone Harbor. That would also have taken me into Cape May Courthouse. In the summer, on Sundays, this road 47 can be backed up for miles and miles when people are returning back to their home from either spending a week or the weekend down the shore. And it's not uncommon to find a few of these enterprising young kids sitting out on the side of the road here in the opposite direction that I'm going, with stands where they sell bottles of water or bottles of soda to motorists that are stranded and sitting in a miles-long traffic jam. Another old church. One of the things that's been in the news nationally is the recent spike in coronavirus cases. And one of the reasons that prompted me to start making videos again on my motorcycle was to sort of chronicle some of the impacts that coronavirus has had on the economy in Cape May and the businesses in Cape May. And New Jersey, like I think almost every state in the nation, has seen a very sharp rise in the cases of COVID, new cases of COVID. And Cape May County itself has seen a large spike. In fact, the month of October had the worst spike of coronavirus of any month in 2020 in Cape May County. And in fact, a couple of the restaurants that I've actually profiled had a case of coronavirus. among their staff, and they had to shut down for a couple of weeks. I would say, though, that the business owners of these restaurant establishments have been very, very good about keeping their eye on the ball for the long term and being very open about the instances of a new case of COVID and promptly shutting down their business, quarantining for their required 14 days, disinfecting the entire place. So I think it's obviously been a very difficult year for the hospitality industry in Cape May, but I think the businesses that have managed to survive to this point are keeping their eye on the ball for the long term and trying to do the right thing and comfort their patrons and their guests that the safety of their guests and patrons and staff are of paramount importance to these businesses, far more than the bottom line. And you know, they've taken another hit by closing down when they had an instance. So I really feel that you know, if and when my wife and I go back to eating inside one of these restaurants, I will feel safe doing it. We have gone out to eat. I don't want to give the impression that we haven't been out to eat, but we've limited our dining to restaurants that had outdoor seating with very good social distancing. And I guess as a couple of old timers, my wife and I, you know, we don't go out to dinner at 8 o'clock at night. We go at usually 5 o'clock. And it's not that we're trying to grab an early bird special. That's not the case. We just prefer to eat at 5 o'clock and be back home by 6:30, 6:45. And so as a result of that, we really have had a very good experience of dining outdoors at some of the restaurants here with respect to social distancing. I have to say it feels great to be back on the bike after not having ridden it for about a month. I did go out on the Harley and ride the Harley a few times, but it's a different riding experience. The Harley is a completely different riding experience than the Ninja. The Ninja is a much more nimble bike. It's a faster bike. I would say it's a more dangerous bike because you don't realize how fast you're going on a sport bike. These bikes were made to cut through the wind, and as a result, if I was on the Ninja and I was on the Garden State Parkway, I could be topping 90 miles an hour or even 100 miles an hour and only be in 5th gear, and the Ninja has 6 gears on it, and not even realizing that I'm going that fast because you don't feel it. On the other hand, if I'm on the Harley and I'm up on the Garden State Parkway, once I hit, say, 55, 60 miles an hour, I can feel the wind resistance hitting me, and that sort of keeps me from going any faster than that. The bike could go faster than that. I'm not saying that the Harley couldn't go faster, but it becomes somewhat of an uncomfortable ride to go much above 60 or 65 on the Harley, whereas on the Ninja, I could be going, right now I'm going about 60 miles an hour, and I don't even feel it. So it's a more dangerous ride, but I largely use the Ninja to navigate around for little rides around Cape May, because, as I said, it's a more nimble bike. It's about half the weight of the Harley. The Ninja weighs about 400 pounds. My Harley weighs about 750 pounds. So it's very easy to navigate around Cape May on the Ninja. And I haven't been on the Ninja in a month. So it feels good to be back out on it again. That's a distillery, one of several distilleries. I should have pointed out one of the wineries that we passed, because, as I said, there are many good wineries down here. This traffic light that I'm coming up on is a road that I would turn if I were going over into North Wildwood. It's Indian Trail Road, and this road would take me. Oh no, I'm wrong about that. I'm further down than I thought I was. Turning on the Bayshore now and heading into the villas. You can really see the sky clouding up. I don't think I've ridden up this far through the villas coming from my home, but shortly I'll be at a point I'm on Bayshore Road now, and shortly I'll be at a point where I have ridden before, and anybody that looked at my video of a ride through the villas will recognize the scenery. And I am in the villas right now. I'm sure I've come up this far on one of my earlier videos. Up on my left is St. Raymond's Church. This is the church that when we go to Mass on Sunday, we come up here. If I go on a Saturday night, I go to the St. John of God's church. Jake's Bar and Grill, I mentioned that on a video. This is the butcher that we go to in Geis's Market. If we don't want to just buy meat from the grocery store, the supermarket, that's a very good butcher. And this will be a long video when I post it to YouTube, only because of one reason. It's not that there's nothing that could be edited out of this video, because I'm sure it was not of great interest to very many people. There's not a lot of points of interest for me to have pointed out on this ride, but the reason it won't be a shorter video is that simply I don't know how to edit videos. And I really have no desire to learn how to either, so I'll throw this up on YouTube, and if anybody cares to look at it, great. If not, that's great too. That was the villa's volunteer fire company that we just passed. This is the place that we eat out at a lot, Olive Branch. It's very, very good. Greek cuisine. I think I just felt a few raindrops, so it looks like I timed this trip almost perfectly, because I'm easily within 5 minutes of my home, and I wanted to try to get down here before the rain came. They were forecasting rain at 2 o'clock, and it's 10 minutes to 1, so that's a pretty accurate forecast, I guess. There's a library, it's a township building, and up on the left is the senior center. All of these I pointed out before.